Alright, hello and welcome to a live game. This one's going to be with TNC Armel. He's probably the big name here. The other ones are, I don't know as much, but mind you, this guy's number 3 in SEA, so there's a lot that we can learn from this guy. We're going to actually do the player cam on Armel. But yeah, it's okay. So here's the thing. Dota's in a weird spot. Dota's in a very in a stasis, I would say, in the sense that it's hasn't really had too many updates as of late. I know that we've got the latest announcement. It's going to happen on December 15th, which was later than they initially said, which was going to be mid-November. So I jokingly say that this is going to be November 45th is when the next patch is going to hit. I'm expecting big things. I think that Dota, you know, and I've been mainly a Dota player, but just being able to see the other games and what everyone else is doing in like Riot and all that, I feel like they're doing a better job in terms of support. I think Valve had a terrible 2020. I think the pandemic definitely didn't help them, but I think that we're seeing a lot of the holes and the flaws of the system that Valve is trying to do. When you have giant prize pools, and yes, it's great for that, you know, that team that wins, the OGs and everything, but you know, look at everybody else. What are they doing, right? So the Tier 2, Tier 3 scenes are getting absolutely decimated. We're seeing constant roster changes in SEA. The entire just Dota realm is just kind of in a bad spot right now because they can't, you know, afford that. OG and them, they can mess around. I mean, they can pretty much retire at this point, right? They want two internationals, which is pretty massive, and it looks great. The fact that like they won, you know, 20 mil, whatever. But at the end of the day, I think you need to kind of spread out the love a little bit, make things a little more sustainable. And I think, I think positively, we gotta look at Riot Games. I think that yes, they're, you know, when you win Worlds, to be honest, I don't even know how much they won, but they got paid a salary, they got paid a living wage, and the fact that like when you win on a winning team, you have the potential to make more money with the team itself, right? You're not like forced to, you know, this feast or famine that you have with Valve system of you just need to win tournaments, right? But like that's very hard to do when you're pretty much a starving artist. So again, this is kind of like why I'd taken a little bit of a break from Dota. So a little bit about me as well. I mean, I love Dota. I'll probably never go away from it, but I think we kind of need a break, especially since there was no latest patches. In my opinion, things are kind of getting a little stale. So good and bad in the sense that like you've had 3 or 4 months now of this patch. And you can kind of, you should have mastered it at this point, right? If you hadn't, apologies, maybe I didn't do a good enough job. But I feel like it's the same old, right? And, yeah, I played some other games. I've been playing a lot of Valorant. I've been casting that as well. Just preparing myself for those things. And I've also given League of Legends a chance. I think Wild Rift is definitely going to be one of those games that's going to be pretty popular as well. And I'm very intrigued by structure. I think that, you know, moving forward, any sort of sustainability, this is something that you need to do. But yeah, if we're looking at this game, this is an interesting game in the sense that I think it's a off-lane Jakiro? I don't know what to think. Hang on, I gotta see this. This is kind of crazy because Armel will go back to you and he's Lesh and he's just kind of killing it here. But this is going to be an off-lane. Is this Ice? I don't think so, but Big City Boy here is playing that one. He is playing the offlane Lash, and he's getting a decent amount of last hits. So, they got tower pushes galore. They got the chase. They got some team fights. They got an end condition. They do need to be a little bit careful because I think Chikiro's getting very low in the bottom lane. I think he TP'd away. No, he did not. He does go down, and that's going to draw first. Oh, Dreamocel. All right, so PL Dreamocel is in this one. Oh, okay. I'm just blind. I did not see that. Okay, but LJQ is Armel. Kind of going at it 13-1 versus the 14-3. Still kind of neck and neck here. Nothing to kind of worry too much about here. I have faith in Leshrac just because I feel like he's got a pretty massive power spike. He's got his bottle. He's kind of on his way. He's got tangos if he wants to use them. But he actually bought the tangos, interestingly enough. Maybe this is one of those weird, I'm not supporting the mid type. But here comes a TP from Learner. This is the position 5. He actually changes the exchanged bottle. Refilled it in case you didn't know what that was. He has the aura, so to speak, of the fountain. But Jimmy Student kind of getting a decent amount of last hits. Dreamocel is doing pretty well on the bottom lane as well. But it's still pretty even. If I'm going from lineup alone, the Shackle and the frostbite. You got the lockdown there. This one less so, less reliable, I would say. Leshrac is just gonna pick up this DD after he just kind of bottles it up, make sure he gets full value out of it with the charges and everything. Man, this thing does work. The Die Block Edict, just kind of spreading that love around. Worrying on your team when your AM right now is the last in terms of cores, in terms of last hits. But let's see how things are going. Hang on. He's got the Ring of Health, so he should be okay. That's like a pretty big power spike once he gets that. All right, but again, we're going to focus on this Leshrac. Is he able to get all the last hits? That's like the biggest thing. Under tower. Like, that's how good of a mid you are. That's like what I judge you on. Nice. He's got all three with that one, so he's going neck and neck. He should be fine. Doesn't have boots. I mean, he's pretty fast already. And it looks like he's going to look for the stack here. It's going to be 5 minutes. Disco Ball is out, and it looks like there's going to be a little bit of engagement. Lerner's kind of in a bad spot. He'll probably pay for that rune. Unless he can TP. No, the power shot is there. Something to note. There's not a whole lot of stuns here. But hey, Acer Phoenix, how are you, sir? Thank you for the subscription. Buddy, dude. 5 months, buddy. Thank you, sir. Respect. How are you? It's been a long time. But yeah, man. You just totally lost my train of thought with this, but I guess it's because I'm back to Dota for once. But nonetheless, thank you for this. Armel getting very low. He does it the DD. Does need to be a little careful. Jimmy Student's a little bit of outplay, but he does it the bottle here. How's the new office, by the way, at Razor? That's pretty sick. He's running up on him. The shield is there. He's kind of protecting. The CM is actually going to be TPing forward. And they do have Yules if they want to go, but I don't think... Oh, they do have the Frostbite. He's getting low, and Lerner's a little too slow on that one. Yeah, once I saw the TP, I was kind of like, this is probably something where he needs to be a little bit more careful, and unfortunately was not in the right spot. TPs are called late, and that's kind of what happens sometimes when you get screwed over, I would say, but okay. And then back to the top lane. Veno is going to kind of bully this AM. Right? You do need to be a little bit careful. Yes, he has the Ring of Health, which is pretty massive for him. But if we're looking at levels alone, AM is level 4 versus the Veno level 5, who's already got 2 kills. So AM's got to go back in the jungle. Armel is back into the mid lane here after his poor and untimely demise. But he's fine now. He's got boots. Nice little stack. And this is something that you need to do as a mid. Right? You have the 2 camps that are very close. Make sure you stack them. You get maximum value. Don't rely on your supports to do everything for you. He phase shifts away, gets so low, the charge is going to be used, so they do have vision of him, and Armel doesn't care. Armel just runs after you, and this is the power of the Leshrac. Oh, but the Wind Ranger's here. Doesn't actually have a tree to shackle on. He should be fine. Lerner is a little bit a little low here, with only being level 3. But, yeah, I guess he's completely sacrificing, letting AM get as much, you know, as much farm and as much XP as possible, because he's having a rough time. Veno's a tough laner, a tough fight. And Armel here, back into it. And maximum value, this is what you want, right? The Pulse Nova, just going in between the 2 different stacks, or the different camps. There's no stack here, and he's getting some neutrals. He should be fine. So a lot of efficiency there, right? And you see that he's kind of pulling away. Mind you, this is him with the scoreboard, not me. But 64 to the 46, which is a pretty massive, you know, dip in that sense. They were both neck and neck, but this is the power of the Leshrac and how you can just kind of force the issue, push towers, take objectives, and create a lot of space for your AM, which he's going to need because he's kind of struggling right now against that AM. Or against the Veno, excuse me. Here comes the charge. The CM actually steps in front, but the CM is like, all right, Frostbite and back and up here. But Armel has come to the party. They got the Ice Path there, as well as the Dual Breath and Believe. I'm going to have to believe you're not going to get denied there, and Armel will secure that one. And Lerner gets killed in the mid lane, who's just trying to sap some XP. But this is good. It's a nice little rotation. You got something out of it. Yes, it's only the position 5, but if you're creating space... And this is, again, it's an offlane Jakiro. You're going to be able to get some sort of damage there. Oh, the split is going to miss. He's just kind of running around. Back foot doesn't be careful. Jimmy Student's actually trying to bait him out, I would think. No. The spin, the charge is there. They do have the shield, but he's going to be fine now. Armel does need to be a little bit careful. The split earth is going to be a little off the mark. And with the vision, he astral steps forward, and oh, bad fight. This is why it's so dangerous. You knew that all three were there. The Undying is only level 4. Yeah, you're having a rough time there. Under tower, okay? I always look at towers as like an extra player on the team. And you know that they had 3, so you're essentially going into a fight 3v4. Is that a good fight? No. And they've proven it there. And this is where potentially things could go bad, because your Leshrac wants to be pushing the tower. I felt like he should have probably stayed in the bottom lane and stuck with that Jakiro and just push that T1. Yes, you're sacrificing the mid, but it was looking bad. Jakiro gets killed here. Armel just going to go in the top lane. And yeah, you're down a tower. You're down kills. And you're level 9 against the level 7 PL, and you miss against Dreamocel. And Dreamocel's not going to really be affected by this, I think, too much. He doppelgangs away. But is he fast enough? He has no vision. He sees the illusion, but that's pretty much it. So again, he TP'd for that. And not exactly any sort of value out of that. He didn't really get the kills. Yes, he got this wave, but... Oh, and here comes Jimmy Student, the astral step. The side steps the... okay. Wow. Leshrac just gets blown up. They do need to be careful. Like, they got to respect the amount of damage that this Void Spear can do, right? The Remnant and everything. Yeah, wow. Okay, so this is rough. This is rough. And as a Leshrac who does fall off in the end, this is never a good spot. Armel being number 3 in SEA, probably not ideal. You gotta create space, man. You gotta take that tower. And they got that kill in that CM bottom, and I feel like that was a pretty massive mistake for him just walking away. Thinking he's like level 13 or 15, when in fact he's only level 9, and he's been dead twice very quickly. And let's look at net worth here. Top 3 Radiant, right? You're seeing this. This is the ranked immortal level, right? This is what's going to happen. You need to ensure that when you have any sort of gap, any sort of advantage that you might have, you need to take advantage of it. And we're kind of proving, like, we're showing that if you're not going to play to your strengths, this could potentially happen to you. You're going to be in a rough spot. And now AM needs to kind of go into the hyperbolic chamber in this jungle, just get as much farm as he can. But man, when he's given the opportunity, or when he needs to fight, they're going to be in a bad spot, right? And they're pushing towers. I love the fact that this Radiant team is just pushing. They're constantly there. Yeah, and we don't need to see too much of that. The Ice Path is going to connect on the 2, which is nice. They do have the Split Earth as well. They got the Wind Ranger, so that's a pretty good fight. And the Macropar is going to be committed, and CM is slowly taken away. He gets the stick up just to kind of keep himself alive, but they actually don't have vision. They don't know where the CM was. Wow, that juke was pretty sick. But can they turn this into a T1 mid? That would be pretty much value. They're going to back up here. The DD's there. CM is going to come back in. Bait away again. Void Spirit is there, as well as a TP from the Veno. I mean, if anything, AM got some space. So Yule's on Leshrac, pretty ideal. You're gonna need to cut down somebody. I mean, especially with the Wind Run, the Void Spirit, you need some sort of way to potentially lock him down. The Tombstone is gonna be committed mid, just hopefully slowing him down. All right, I think it's about time we do free camp. And they did get the Undying, who's literally just standing there. He's a free frag. This is rough. And I talk about this Undying position 5 on my stream, the fact that it has an opportunity to do well, but sometimes he's just not great. You'll keep himself alive just for a little bit longer. The Macropyre just on top of him, but he's been remnanted back, deny range, and he gets blown up. Big city boy, you're running for the country right now as you're trying to run away. The Doppelgang's going to connect, and here comes the first TP with the Learner, and he's level 6 and no Tombstone, and you're just going to die one more time. Oh, God. You know it's bad. Stylist doesn't even get the real charge on. The shield is just too much, and Spirit Breaker's going to get blown up here, too. 4 for 1. This is already looking rough. Oh, I love the screams. I love the screams from Dire Tide. Yeah, that's pretty much the story of this game. And Blink's back into the jungle. It's going to take as much aggressive farm, but he doesn't have Battle Fury for comparing apples and apples. Hooded Defiance, right? And you're probably like, why is he getting Hunter Defiance? Well, look at this magic damage. The Jakiro, the Leshrac, of course, and the Spirit Breaker, which does surprisingly a lot of magic damage. So they do need to be a little bit careful. Just all he needs to do is survive, right? And the fact that the Leshrac is there and he has the Pulse Nova and he can just kind of burn through those illusions. So it makes a lot of sense. It's actually a really good item. Ice Path is going to connect on the Wind Ranger. The Dual Breath on the Veno, but he's got Pipe. Or he's got a Hood himself, excuse me. CM is probably going to fall. Oh, Jimmy Student with a really nice Astral Step. He goes into it. Armel getting so low. He's within range and he's Astral Steps and he gets him. But Void Spirit will pay with his life. The Tombstone is there, just kind of slowing him down. Mob is looking to focus on that one. They do get that one. It's a 3 for 2. And Big City Boy is just mano y mano on Mob. And Mob looks like he's just going to TP away. Not much you can do, especially with Mana Void already being used. Okay, so not the worst fight, but your AM right now doesn't have Battle Fury, and he needs that, especially against this PL, so they need to be careful. Mind you, this is Boom ID's Dreamocel. He's trying to get it, didn't get the rune. Learner will pay with his life again. I mean, that one was, he didn't really have much of a chance, but he's been dying a lot for these runes. Dreamocel is going to stick around, take on that stack. Hopefully try to take as much as possible. He gets both the runes, backs up. Meteor Hammer on the Wind Ranger. Okay, okay. There's 1 of 2. It's the MKB or the Meteor Hammer. Itemization is pretty much on point. Things haven't changed too much. And again, I've taken a little bit of a break, but we can kind of see that things are kind of similar in that sense. We need to change this up. Rod of Aethys on the Chikiro, fine. A little bit more lockdown. They do get him. They get Armel. Okay, with the Shackle there, the Void Spirit as well. I mean, the Yules, you're going to have a rough time because it just perfectly lines it up for the this Lawn Wind Ranger to just kind of get the easiest Shackle of his life. Catapult is there. I would have tanked that a little bit. Just to kind of slow at least down the creeps, but, you know. Okay, he don't care about that. Alright, and now the tower's there. They got the Meteor Hammer being queued, especially with Wind Run. Not taking any tower damage. Pretty nice. Little combination. He's got to work on the aggro here. PL is fighting mid. Oh, the DD on the Undying of all things. Frostbite, yeah, and he's just dead. Learner has not learned, as this guy has fallen many a times. 7 times already. This is looking rough. They got the T2 top, and they're looking to take this into a T2 mid. Boom, Dreamocel with the Diffusal and the Hood. So they're going to be going Manta up next. Perfect. Perfect, right? You went defensive item, kept you alive. You can deal with all the illusions and the AoE damage that the enemy team has. And then you get the Diffusal, so now that you can start fighting and you can get into it. So here comes the charge. What do they see? What do they see? Where's the charge? Oh, the Shackle. And they got him on Armel, but Atos was just kind of lock him into place. They do have the charge, though. Charge is still going to go on Void Spirit, but the Shackle, nice! And he gets shackled there, and Dreamocel should make short work. The Remnant's going to be off the mark. And that was actually pretty legit. He was charging through, and he gets shackles on that one. Holy crap. Holy crap. That was pretty sick there. Alright. So AM here, he's got the Battle Fury. He's going to get Manta next. But man, is this guy behind. It's 17 minutes. This is very, very late. Their team, I mean, they don't have, what, any T2 except for the bottom? That is worrying here. Armel, on the other hand, has just got Yules. Is going to go BOT next. I'm not a huge fan of that. They found the AM. Oh, clumsy net as well. The Split Earth is going to slow him down, but Armel is really not tanky enough. And that Hood is really paying off. And he needs to dodge away. He's stepping into the Macropire. And yes, he does go down. So they got something. The Meteor Hammer's been queued. It does hit the Chikiro. So look to turn this around. Jimmy's Student is running for his life. They need to be careful. 17% bash. Learner, the Flesh Golem, not really enough as a defensive capability. Ice Path is going to connect on the CM. They do have the Split Earth as well. This is a buyback, excuse me. They're going to look to fight this. Stylus is looking to charge in, but it's backing up. Yule's up on Armel. He's going to keep himself alive. The Pulse Nova, but yes, most of it's been mitigated. Ice Path. They do find the Jakiro as well. He does get ticked. And yeah, that's a dieback by Armel. Not one of his greatest games. Here comes a TP from the AM. No, he cancels that. Yeah, especially with the Void Spirit so close. And they do have the Meteor Hammer on this tower, slowly chipping that thing down. Making short work of that. Very squishy. Like, it's very difficult to fight into this lineup. Because, I mean, there's so much sustainability from this Veno, right? Little team fight from the CM. The Wind Ranger obviously is there with the Meteor Hammer as well. This is a pretty rough lineup. Actually, I think they're a bit of a wash. I'm not going to say that there's like a massive edge. I just felt like Armel and we're kind of, looking into this guy. But Shackle here, Meteor Hammer combination. He's just been stun locked forever almost. And he does get killed. Yeah, he's got the Axe here. So, Void Spirit with that silence. Dreamocel just making quick work of this. He does have his, he's going to have Manta in like 200 gold, 300 gold. Takes the T2, and it looks like they've given up on life. Yeah, not much they could have done. I mean, now, right? I think in the beginning, it really came down to that initial, that rotation on that CM in the jungle here. Had he continued to push and just created space in that way, as opposed to defending mid and just losing and dying twice in consecutive fights, very, back to back, that's almost game losing. And just too much space, too much, a bit of an issue, right? You need to be very careful in terms of how you push this. You cannot make any mistakes. You need to ensure that when you have any sort of advantage, any sort of gap, you need to take advantage of it. All right, so they're going to just AFK in the fountain. Actually, this is one thing I like about League of Legends, is that, 15 minutes or whatever, or even before, you can surrender. You just vote it, man. This is I think that's actually a pretty massive win for them. I really like that. And I understand that they're like, oh, people fight till the end, and you wouldn't have those comebacks if it had it. But, I think comebacks are somewhat rare, right? Yes, they do happen. Yes, the mistakes are going to be there. And yes, people do give up. But I feel like at the end of the day, I think that I would rather have the surrender thing. But I'm speaking kind of biased in the sense that I'm like a caster and observer type. So it would speed up some of those games, especially when they've clearly given up, right? Like, there needs to be something that says, okay, we've given up. Let's get out of here. I mean, yeah, it's going to be an extra minute or so, but it should just be like a GG tap out. But, all right. So the big thing here. Ooh, fountain diving. When you don't even have megas, you need to be careful. The power shot did a little bit of work. Tombstone is there. They're going to defend at least their fountain. But that's all they want. The CM is there as well. The Venom alt does a lot of work. Holy crap. That in terms of the... and he's been slowed down. The Ice Path Macropire. And that's going to be GG. 21 minutes, 30-10. Very quick. And Dreamocel is going to just rub that one in. Going up against Armel there. And that's going to be GG.